Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, we will be try to understand how we can clone an object, or in other words, how we can make a copy of that particular object from a specific object. How we can take the properties and values or the methods of that particular object and create a new object which has a similar properties of the old object. So basically, it's like cloning an object. That means you are making a copy or duplicating that particular object, or taking that this value and the properties of one object and making the similar or the same, exactly the same properties and the methods of the existing object. So we'll see how we can do that in JavaScript fundamentals. Okay. So basically, I'll create an object. So const person, something which I use all the time, right? And the first name and the age. So these are just videos to make your fundamentals strong, guys. And this probably will be a small video wherein I just want to let you know the different ways in you can clone an object. So the first way I want to clone an object and create a copy of that into a new object is by using something called as foreign loop. So there is a loop called as foreign loop which will loop through an object basically. So you have seen different loops to loop through an array. So this is kind of a, you can say, a unique kind of a loop which will loop through an object. So if you can do here for, if I can say, before that I'll create an empty object, right? I'll create an empty object before. After that, I'll loop through for let x in person, right? Let x in person. So now, if I do a console.log of, for the people who don't know what is foreign loop, so if I console.log of x, right? If I console.log of x and I go back, I'll get the first name and the age. So I'll get the keys, okay? Basically, the keys of that particular object. So now, if I do person of x, right? If I do a console.log of person of x, I'll get the values. So money and 25 the values. So basically we want the entire object we have to put it inside another object, right? Another object which is an empty object, which as we have declared. So what I want to do is, so it's basically the another of key, right, is equal to the person of key. So this is what we are going to do. So we are passing in that particular key of that particular object inside the new object. So basically we have to replace this with x and x. So what happens here is, whatever the key and the value, so this will give you the value of key and you are passing it that inside a new object. And now if I do a console.log of another, right, and if I save, I go back, I'll get another as first name, money, and age 25, because whatever is there in person of x, I have put that inside a new object, right? I have an object here. So this is the value. I'll get that particular value. So I put that inside this particular object, and this particular object I have to put it inside the empty object which I have created. Okay. This is the one way in which you can create the clone. So just comment this off. The next method is by using something called as Object.assign method. So this is kind of very easy, right? Very easy. So how will you do this? So basically you have a method called as Object.assign, right? What this assign will do is, so it will take an empty object. So this is called as the targeted object, and you have your source object. So which is your source object? Person is your source object. So what does it happens here is, you are taking this particular source object and you are trying to copy that and put it inside a targeted object. So now if I do const new is equal to, okay, I cannot take new obj is equal to object.assign of this particular object. And now if I do a console.log of new obj, right, if I save it, if I go here, I'll get that new obj is also equal to new obj is also equal to this particular object. So whatever the data is there, or the properties or the method inside this person object, I'm trying to put that inside this particular object, and I'm assigning that to new object. All right. So now it need not be an empty array. So you can just give name, age, address, right? Address is equal to Mangalore. So you can do that. So now what happens is, along with this particular two properties, you will have these properties also inside that object. So you'll get address, the targeted value, and then the value of this particular existing or the source object. So this is how you can manipulate an object or add something to an object, right? Using your Object.assign method. So there is one more method is by using something called as spread operator. Okay, spread operator. So what I can do is const new obj. So I can just do it as spread operator is kind of a very cool ES6 features, I can say. So I can just do three dots, and I can just do person. So what this will do is these three dots will duplicate this person object. So it will create a copy of this person object, then it will assign it to new object. So this is how cool you can get work with spread operators, right? So new obj, if I save this, and I'll get the first name, money, and age 25. Why? Because these three dots, spread operator will give you three dots. These three dots will make a copy of that particular object, or it will make a new object inside this particular object. So now if I want, let me assign a new kind of a object. Let hi is equal to, or let's say fruits is equal to, uh, yeah, we'll keep it as an empty object for the time being. All right, and if I call this fruits here, all right, fruits here, and then a comma. So what this will do is the new object will consist of a fruits object and then also that particular object, right? So if I save it, I'll get this particular fruits object, right? And this fruits object will be an empty object. So if I do a three dots here again, so this will create the copy of that particular object again. So just remove this and then check. So fruits will give you the fruits object here. So this is how you can add or take something from a spread operator, right? So basically, what do you mean by a spread operator? So spread operator will give you the copy of that particular object there, or you can give it as a string, right? Apple, save it, and go here, and you will get in that particular object, you will get apple as the first string, or fruits as the first variable inside, first key inside that particular object. So these are the different ways in which you can clone an object, right? So these are the different ways in which you can clone an object. You can use for in loop, you can use Object.assign, you can use spread operators. So I think spread operators are really cool features of ES6, where most of the objects you can just replicate by using just three dots, and you will create a copy of that particular object. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be coming up with much more cool videos very soon. So till then, stay safe and happy coding.